Hey everybody, happy Sunday afternoon. This is a classic hour time. We used to do these in the afternoons back in the day. Anyway, sorry about the delay. I had a rock show last night. I didn't even leave the venue after finished loading until well after 1 a.m. Got home well after 2 a.m. and went and saw a new movie. So I'm back. Anyway, we're here. And I'm super excited to see how the group has been blowing the fuck up, which I'm super happy about. We got new members in the Slack, new people in the Patreon. I've gotten 3 times as many people did this week's homework as they did in the rest of the month of July. That's amazing. And I owe all y'all some stuff, the ones that came in over the last 48 hours. So I'm going to get all that to you. It's so good to see. We've got new Slack members, which is great. I mean, just it's all... I'm so glad you guys are happy. And the new ebook on e-com brand building, apparently just you all are fucking loving it. And that makes me so fucking happy. So anyway, we're going to get started today. We're going to do some homework, and then we're going to get into a lot of other things. The primary thing I really want to focus on today, a lot of what we've been talking about is building brands, running stores, doing all sorts of this stuff. But I realized a lot of the questions that I'm getting asked in the Slack and other places have to do with like best practices for drop shipping and for smaller stores that are really trying to get established. A lot of what we've been talking is for brands that exist that want to expand or build up from zero. But what we're not talking about, where I'm seeing a lot of abuse with bad information and just terrible best practices is in the drop shipping world. So I really, really wanted to focus on that today. Well, because there's a lot of you out there. I know out of the 3,000 or so people that we have in the group, at least 500, 600, 800 of you are drop shippers. So we haven't given you nearly enough attention. So that's what today's about. We're going to get into the 5 things that drop shippers are being lied to about, and the things that they can do to be better. Hi, Dimitri and Usama. Tomas, how you doing, buddy? So anyway, and a lot of this, Tomas is actually in the Slack and has been asking a lot of questions and really inspired me to really try to answer a lot of this shit in the live so we can go back over it. And, we got a one-on-one, we've done some stuff, and we got another one. I'll hopefully get to it today. I know it's really late where you are, and I got a show later this afternoon, but we're going to make all this happen. I'm real fucking excited. So without any further ado, I want to say thank you everybody that did the homework. You got everything coming your way if you don't have it already. Thank you to everybody that's inviting people. I got a slew of 88 people I've still yet to get through. And I know that a lot of those people are coming through invitations. So thank you all very much. Like I said, if this group is meaningful to you, if you are enjoying it, if you're getting something out of it, the number one way you can say thank you to me is invite one friend. That's it. Invite one person to this group and help them get some value. So I really appreciate that. And so without any further ado, I just want to start getting into it, and we'll go from there. All right? So last week's homework was the Engaged Shoppers hack, which is something that we did before. This week's homework is really based off of some other stuff, and it is based around the CBO piece. We went on to a lot last week, and so it's really simple. What I would like to see is ad set minimums and maximums according to the best practice that we've defined. I need a screenshot of one. That's it. You take one screenshot of an ad set with a minimum and a maximum set at the best practice that we've said. And remember, if you want to take an ad set from an ad set budget, we get more people requesting right now. Merrick and Zaire. All right, let's see. If you have an ad set budget campaign, and let's see, Isif, wow, all right, S and Mark, Merrick and Zenat. All right, you all are approved. Boom, 3 new members during the live. All right, if you have a campaign that's built around ad set budgets, the way you turn those into CBO is you set your minimum, your spend minimum to 80% of where your ad set budget was, and your maximum to 50% more than that. So it's really simple. All I need to see is one screenshot of a minimum and the maximum set 50% over it. That's it. I believe everything else that you might be doing. I'm not trying to take advantage of you. None of this stuff is garbage. All I'm trying to do is help you. And if you do the homework, you can get a free ebook or half off the Patreon, half off the Slack, half off a one-on-one. Every time you do the homework, you get to reap a new reward. I had 1 or 2 people this week say, I did the homework. Can I get a half off everything and all the books? And like, well, do some more homework and let's make sure that you're not overwhelmed by getting everything, right? Like, let's figure out what's the number one thing we can crush right now, and let's keep building. And some of the people asked real nicely, so we've been making some accommodations. Anyway, that's what I really want to focus on this week is helping a lot of people. But for this week, focusing on the homework is just using the best practices for CBO that we've been defining. Now, how do we know these are best practices? Because they're not what Facebook says. Because we spent the last 6 months in this group defining them. And 2, we're about halfway through our 6-figure month-long case study test with the Facebook internal team where they're flipping half the bill. And they're getting their ass kicked. It was funny. I was out in Venice talking to a lot of reps. So we had like a happy hour this week, and there's a lot of group members there. I'm not going to call you out by names. You guys know who you are, and it was great. Other Facebook disruptors and a lot of reps and everything, and it was wonderful. Everybody was super fucking excited. Like, the talk of the town of the event was all about the CBO test because I wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And, everybody's just really happy that we're winning. So, with that being said, let's get into the other stuff for the dropshippers today. I don't really want to spin the wheels and wasting our time, so let's just get straight to the good shit. The 5 things that dropshippers are being lied to about and how to turn that shit around. Number one is I'm constantly seeing dropshippers asking me, how do I test new products? I have a store with 3 to 5 things or 2 or 3 things. How do I test new products so I can scale? And Tomas can vouch for this because we were chatting this week. My response to that is almost always, well, how's your retargeting on those things? And have you maxed out your spend against them? And how are your efforts on Google and Tapjoy and everywhere else? Because the honest truth is, I've taken brands that have 2 or 3 products and got them to $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month in spend. You don't need 10 things. If every product can spend $1,000 or $2,000 a day and you make a decent profit off of it, spend your time scaling the shit out of those from $1,000 to $5,000. You can get yourself into a brand that's spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a day on Facebook alone, built on the back of 3 to 4 products. You don't need more than that, especially if those products are themed. And so one of the pieces of advice that I've seen over and over again, I really want to shoot is, you don't need to test new products. You just don't need to. You need to hit a home run on 2 or 3 of them and scale the fuck out of them. Also, I want to cover what's the best way of doing things. And what I want to say is, number 1, don't worry about testing new products. And if you are at a point where you do need to test new products, either because you have nothing working or because you have maxed out, you are spending everything you can. If you spend more, you're going to come in below the profit margin that you want to, and all your retargeting audience are spending as much as fucking possible. You got your budget, you got your bids, and your budgets are all basically like, if you spend more, you will lose profitability, and you don't want to do that. You want to start a new channel. Great. That's a great problem to have. Number 1 way to do it is, 1, find out what are the things around the products that you sell that can be complementary. Number 2 is, don't use Facebook to test it. Facebook is extraordinarily inefficient at starting a brand. And this will go into the second piece. So it's a great parlay. But start testing new products by adding them as post-transactional upsells. Put them into your emails after somebody buys. Put them onto your site as like bonuses. Hey, spend this much, get this free thing. See what people want. don't just try to sell shit on Facebook, because Facebook isn't good for that. And Facebook is not good for testing products. It was 3-4 years ago when all these people got rich doing it, and then they turned how to get rich doing it into a business, and they stopped fucking doing it themselves, and now they're teaching you wildly out-of-date best practices. Which brings us to our second point, which is number 2, which is people say go on Facebook to run your brand. And we know this because as the e-com brand builder, but Facebook is one of the least efficient ways of running advertising. What Facebook does better than anything else is provide scale. It creates intent to a broader audience for something that already works. It's also really great at retargeting people, making sure that you're in their feed. However, if you don't have the traffic, if you're not selling things successfully, if you're trying to build from zero, Facebook is the last place you should be spending your first touch dollars. That's why we went over for a couple hours, a couple times, the value of like Instagram growth hacking or using Tapjoy to drive clicks on specific products that you have. And a lot of people use influencers and other things. What I would recommend here, again, is use other platforms where you're going to get clicks for a lot cheaper so that you can see the volume come into your store and see what people want to buy and what the right price is. And when that maxes out, when you're saying, all right, I've got a system figured out, now I want to throw fuel on the fire, that's what Facebook does. And you start, and this will lead to the next piece, you start at the bottom of the funnel and you work your way up using the same ads as much as you can to try to drive as much scale to what's winning. That's what Facebook does. It's a force multiplier. It in and of itself isn't the thing that's going to get you off the ground. It used to be, and they got famous for doing it, and they make billions and billions every month from people trying to do it. But even Facebook themselves, I was chatting with a guy on the beach like 4 days ago, Thursday night, whatever that was. And he was saying, yeah, we see people come in all the time, and we're trying to define best practices to appease to everybody. And when we try to tell people what the best practice is, it's for people that are just starting out, and it's for established brands. And one of the reasons the Facebook best practices aren't as good as they could be is because they're trying to make things work for people that don't have a chance for success. So how do you make something work for somebody that hasn't done their homework? For somebody that doesn't have an established brand, for somebody that doesn't know their customer journey, for somebody that puts a lot of barriers to entry for their customer because they saw something on ClickFunnels and other people, and they're just like trying to stack everything to build the AOV before somebody even wants to buy, and then they complain they dump more money and they say Facebook's stealing my money. They have to make best practices that work for that person just as much as they do for somebody like me that spends $1 million a month easy just on Facebook. Which brings us to our next point. Number 3. The number one thing I see almost all the time is these extraordinary, elaborate, retargeting campaigns. People say, oh, retarget video viewers of all these percentages. And if somebody doesn't buy, then, hit them up with another offer. And if they don't buy on the first touch, then, mark them down discount, give them free shipping, mark down your product so low until somebody has to buy. That's fundamentally flawed. It's old thinking. It didn't work then, and it doesn't work now. The reason it's popular is because it's really easy to explain, and because functionally it will drive more volume, but it'll do it in a very inefficient way. However, because it's easy to explain, and because the people that generally win with it are folks that would win anyway, it's a highly adopted methodology. And it allows people to spend a lot of money at a very low profit margin, and they feel like they're winning. But really, they're hanging on by their fingertips when they could be stacking their pockets with money. So how do we solve this problem? Uh-oh. Girl's home. Puppy's excited. All right, hold on a second. Puppy dog. All right, there you go. She's almost there. Okay. So then that brings us to the point of how do we solve that problem? So the way we solve that problem is twofold. One, use Facebook at the bottom of your sales funnel, your add to carts and your view contents and your site traffic, but do it for just people in the last like 24 hours. If you can't convert people that want to buy today, you're sure as fuck not going to convert people that want to buy in a week. And it's very inefficient. You might be able to, but you're not going to do it at a 3x or a 5x or a 10 or a 28, whatever bullshit number people are giving you. You're going to do it at a you're going to do it at a very low number. So let's just take this customer journey and let me explain it more in detail. The people, your number one audience is going to be people that are in the buying process that for whatever reason stopped, right? And you want those people in the last 24 hours. These are your add to cart one day type audiences. So the first thing you want to do if you want to make money is make sure that you're spending as much money against those people as you can, and making sure that essentially like you're asking Facebook to spend 50 bucks and only spends 42, like max out that spend so that you literally can't spend any more money without losing money. Like you'll find the efficiency. But in general, at that level, your main issue is that you're not going to be able to spend anymore. That's how you know you've won. So if you ask Facebook to spend, if you ask Facebook to spend 100 bucks and can only spend 75, it's because that audience isn't big enough, which is great because that means that you've maxed out that spend. So the next thing is you go to a further distance or further up the sales funnel. So that's where you go to like 7 days, right? Or you move to site traffic or something, slightly less qualified or slightly longer. Remember, the number one things we want to focus on retargeting are level of intent and recency. So if you have add to cart one day and it's crushing, then you add like all site traffic for one day until that's crushing. And then maybe you go add to cart 7 day, or maybe you do both at the same time until you get to that where you're crushing. And then you maybe do site traffic. Now, if you've noticed in there, all I'm saying is expanding the windows. You don't actually change your ads. Don't change your offers, which is one of the things that I see all the fucking time, people suggesting that you do. Now, why is that a terrible idea? Because almost nobody opens their phone, goes to Facebook with their credit card in their hand, ready to buy whatever the fuck comes their way. Most of the time, what happens is somebody looks at the ad, oh, that's interesting. They click on it, and they don't buy. 91 or 92% of people that convert don't convert on first click. That's a Facebook stat. And that's something that gurus and dropshippers and whatnot will tell you, well, that means that you have to expand your attribution window to longer, which is bullshit. We've covered that in depth. Or they'll say, well, that means that obviously they didn't want to buy because the price was too high or because the value wasn't good enough. The honest truth is they didn't buy because they weren't looking to buy. They probably didn't know that you fucking existed. You were a burden inside of their feed because they're trying to just see whatever the hell else they want. Pictures of their friends or seeing how many likes they got on their posts or just, trying to find memes or recipes, whatever the fuck they were doing. And you were just something in the way. Something in the way good enough that they were like, oh, that's interesting. Let me take a look at it. Now, mind you, if we're starting at retargeting, that means they've already been to your site, probably from a Google search or from an influencer piece, from Tapjoy, because you were using Instagram growth hacking on them and they understood who you were. So they've been to your site already, so they already know who you are. Now, why does that person not buy? A lot of people don't buy even when they're ready, right? The majority of the reasons people don't buy isn't because the offer is bad or the product is bad. It's because they don't want to buy right then. So when you say, oh, this person didn't buy on the very first touch, right? Like when you're out on the street just trying to sell people shit and they said no to you the first time, your immediate response inside of Facebook shouldn't be to then discount the product, lower the value of the product, make it seem cheaper and overpriced, or offer some free shipping or something, saying like, well, a person didn't buy because of X, Y, and Z. The people didn't buy because they didn't want to buy then. Most people need to see something 6 to 8 or 12 times before they're ever interested in making a purchase. And let me back this up with asking you about, hi Austin and Chris, let me ask you about it. When was the last time you were on your phone, fucking killing time or sitting in traffic or at a board meeting or in the bathroom or something, and you saw something so amazing? You opened up your phone, you clicked on that Facebook ad and immediately stopped everything that you were doing, went and got your credit card, pulled it out, made a purchase on the very first time that you saw something, bought it, and were stoked about it. I think I've maybe done that like twice, and it's because there were brands that I already knew. I already liked the thing. Very, very rarely does anybody ever do that. Now I might be interested in it. Might be like, oh, that's cool, let me check it out. And then, oh, it comes back in my feed. Oh, that's the thing I was looking at. Oh, let me take a look at it. You know what? I'm really interested in this thing. Add the cart. Oh, shit, my wallet's in the other room. I don't want to fucking deal with that right now. And then you hit me another ad. Oh, you know what? I got my thing. I'm ready to go. I'm on my phone. I can do the auto check. You know what? I'll buy it right now. That's a far fucking more common journey. So how do we take advantage of that journey? The way that people would tell you before, with lowering your price and offering free shipping, would say, well, they didn't take first click, so lower the value, and they didn't take on the whatever next, so offering free shipping. Let me just walk you through the math there. Say it takes you $5 to get, say we're selling a $20 product, and it takes you $5 to get a no. So immediately, because the person rejected you, you're saying, okay, well, look, my product was clearly overpriced. Let me cut down my price. So then you spend another $5 to get a no. And then you say, well, look, somebody to buy, so let me offer you free shipping. And maybe it takes another $5 to get a yes for them to accept free shipping. So it takes you $15, and then maybe it costs you $10 to ship the product. It costs you $25 to make a sale for $20. You essentially paid somebody $5 to give them something. That's a terrible, terrible fucking way to run your business. And because you were using different ads all the way, those ads weren't able to learn from each other. Remember, the learnings happen at the ad level. So every step of the way is being run as inefficiently as possible. So because the ads aren't learning, they're all basically just trying to start from zero, or barely learning anything because they're all getting very little volume. And then they're all trying very inefficiently to make a sale that costs you money so that you lose money to sell to somebody. That by the time they actually bought from you, you said, hey, look, the thing isn't really $20. How about 10? And, instead of 10, let me give it to you for free. You essentially paid that person to click on your ad a couple times. If I click on this ad 3-4 times, I know that they're going to give me this product that's worth more than I'm paying, and they're going to send it to my doorstep. That's a terrible, terrible fucking way of running a business. So what's the solution? Use the same ad all throughout the funnel. And why does this work? Number one is because the learnings happen at the ad level. All the learnings that happen at the add to cart one day are going to inform the site traffic from the last 7 days because it's the same ad. That ad is going to see who is somebody that responds positively to this creative, right? Who's somebody that wants to buy this product? Yeah, the pixel learns based on your entire site, but really it's the ads that learn based off of the pixel data who to target within the audience that you're targeting. So if we're about to say, okay, somebody clicked on an ad and went to your site and then you retarget them and then they don't buy right away. Well, for the next week, show them that ad. And if they don't buy then you can say, okay, that wasn't enough. Let me offer you buy 2, get 1 free, and I'll throw in shipping. So now they didn't want the $20 product. You spent $5 to get a no, and then a couple, maybe $5, whatever, for them to reject you for a week. So you say, you know what, you don't want the $20 product. How about I give you 3 of them for $40, and I'll pay shipping. Now, when that person says yes, it took you $15 to make 40, potentially, whatever the math is. And you didn't discount your product effectively, right? You didn't say, well, I'm going to sell you my $20 thing for $10. So you move through more inventory, which is the number one way of running a business, is inventory turnover and getting new customers. As well, the other thing is you let that person make the decision for themselves on whether or not they want to pay full price. And then by the time somebody sees that ad a week later, if they don't convert on that ad, they're not going to buy from you. So fuck them. And you don't need to advertise to them for a month because they already said no to you 5, 6, 10 times. By the time somebody sees that ad on day 8 or day 10, if they don't buy, they're not gonna. So you need to spend all of your money on these people first to determine who can I get to buy for full price. And if they're not willing to buy for full price, how can I make it attractive enough for them to buy? And if they don't buy then, I'm not going to advertise to them, which is one of the reasons almost no successful retargeting campaign runs past 2 weeks, sometimes a month for super high price things. Like, some of the people in the group sell $1,000 products. That might take a month. Most of you aren't. And since we're talking about drop shipping, you sure as fuck aren't, right? Hi, Alexis. So it's something to think about there, right? And that's one of the reasons that we started the retargeting piece. And we work our way up. We use the same ad all over the place so that it can get the learnings. And then also, because you only have basically one ad for each offer, and in a couple different audiences, maybe you have 2 or 3 ads for that offer, but they're all basically the same. You don't need to make 20 retargeting campaigns with 10 different ad sets that are all spending $10 a piece. You can make 3 retargeting campaigns, maybe 1 for each product, and inside of that, it's add to cart one day. And if that works well enough, then you can go beyond it. So now instead of spending $10 in 50 different places and it rarely ever working, you can spend 50 or $100 in 3 to 5 places, which means each ad is going to learn faster and be more stable. And you're going to get scale on those offers, on those ads, while making more money off of them. So instead of paying people to help you go out of business by running very hard to manage, very inefficient, very complex retargeting campaigns, you can centralize everything. And because you've centralized everything, because you've used one of the Power 5 points of account simplification and all that good stuff, and you're using the same ad everywhere, that ad is, Facebook's able to show that ad to somebody that's likely to buy it. Your advertiser score in the algorithm will be higher, which means you get a better bid, which means you're paying a lower CPMs, which means your CPAs become more efficient. So one way, the way that people are being taught left and right, is highly complex retargeting campaigns where you offer more and more discounts to run very ineffective campaigns at super low budget, so the learning takes forever, so that you take all of your profit margin before you get a yes, and then you sell somebody a product. Versus very simple, high spend in a few places, and you let the platform learn and be more efficient by getting a higher quality product, your ad, to the end consumer, the inventory on Facebook, while also maintaining AOV. And when somebody doesn't buy, it's because they're a highly qualified person that chose to say no and then fuck them. That's the way you do it. The next piece. And I see the questions coming in. We're going to get to those in the wrap up here. Absolutely, Tomas, you're asking great stuff. I see it. We're going to get to it. So the next piece is that for dropshippers that I see all the time is people saying, well, how do I know to turn the ad off? Because today didn't make me any money and I want to turn it off. Or they'll say, well, this campaign's not really working for me. It's like noon and I haven't made any sale and I've launched this campaign for 3 days and it stopped working. or they're worried about audience fatigue, or they're worried about any of these excuses that everybody gives out as to why the ad isn't working. Let me tell you, there's 3 reasons why an ad won't work. Only 3. Number 1, the creative sucks. Facebook is a creative platform. They are wanting to serve the highest quality creative to the people on Facebook so that people enjoy using it. Remember, your ad is a burden on everybody that sees it. Nobody wants to see your ad. They're trying to look at pictures of their friends and see how many likes they got and look at things. You are a burden. So the highest quality burden is the thing that Facebook wants people to see. When you have high quality burdens, good ads, Facebook will show you over your competitors more often and for cheaper, which means your CPAs go down, your CPMs go down, your CPCs go down. Everything that you're looking at goes down. The second thing, as for Facebook, is audience size. The larger your audience, the cheaper it is to reach people. You pay a premium for the complexity and narrowness of your targeting. So if you've got 14 ad sets inside of a campaign, they're all targeting slightly different people, and you're basically saying, well, I've got 100 add to carts this week. I'm going to chop them up into 20 different boxes, and each box has 5 people in it, and I'm going to try to convert all of them. That is a wildly, wildly less efficient system than putting all of them in one room and saying, who wants to buy this thing? Because the honest truth is, any one of those ad sets might work. And one will work right away, and another one will fail right away, and the one that worked right away, maybe you ramp it up because you're saying, oh, I got lucky once or twice, let me throw a bunch of money at it, and it doesn't get lucky again because you only got lucky once or twice because you're pulling fucking lottery tickets. So when people say, oh, the audience fatigued, that's bullshit. None of you are spending enough money to worry about audience fatigue. And if you're running retargeting, the audience replenishes itself every fucking day. You're not possibly fatiguing that audience. So that's bullshit. The last thing that helps in the customer journey to help a Facebook ad work is the ease of which it is for somebody to buy. If your ad leads to a collection page where somebody gets to make a choice, it's going to be less efficient. And the thinking is, oh, well, I know that people are interested in Bluetooth speakers. I've got 20 of them. I'm going to send to the page where they can go to that page and choose any of the 20 that they want. I already don't give a shit. For instance, say you want to go and buy some gum from the store, right? Now, if the store has 2 or 3 aisles of gum with hundreds of selections, it's going to take you at least 5 minutes to at least find the thing that you even wanted. And then like, oh, there's some other stuff. And then maybe you'll check out. Now, if you're in a store, you made the effort to go to the store, so you're probably going to buy it. But if it's on the internet, I could just go to Instagram. Or I could, open up my fucking game. Or whatever the thing is. A million other things could happen. Or I could take the phone and just do this. You already lost the sale. The store that converts really well is the 7-Eleven that's got 3 kinds of gum by the register, right? They've got this one, and this one. And you get to say, oh, that's the one I wanted. I'm going to buy it. And generally, if you notice, they're never really the same thing. It's like one's like the little sticky things that you pop out of the packet. One of them might be like the little strips like Orbits or something like that. And then maybe one of them's like, so the point is there's only 1, maybe 2 choices to be made. And how does this work inside of your store? Is that when somebody clicks on the ad, they need to go to the product page of the exact product that you're advertising with a giant fucking buy now button immediately right there. When they click that buy now, within 2 steps, they should be able to check out. You don't want somebody to be like, oh, I'm interested in this gum. Great, I'm glad you like gum. Would you like 4 more pieces of gum? And then this soda and this other fucking thing. No, I don't want all that shit. I just wanted the fucking gum. I'm already like not interested, and you retargeted me, and I finally shown something, and now I'm inside of your store and you're fucking bothering me. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna leave. Get rid of all your pre-transactional upsells. Don't put something between somebody clicking on your ad, clicking on buy now, and saying confirm checkout. Anything you put in between those is going to lose you money. Guaranteed. Especially for drop shippers and people running small stores. They don't have a slew of fucking complimentary products. What you can do is after somebody buys, you can say, hey, great, thanks for shopping. By the way, would you like to save 10% on these 5 other things? Or in the email, hey, thanks for buying this thing. While we still have you, are you interested in this stuff? Because you're asking somebody to make a decision after they purchased, your conversion rate is higher. Fun fact, if your conversion rate is higher, Facebook knows that your ad is better, and it's going to favor you in the auction. Remember, all of these things are to help Facebook work more efficiently. So by doing this, basically what you're saying is your page has the highest conversion rate possible, so the expected action rate, which is one of the variables inside of the auction for your bid, goes up. When you consolidate all of your ads, all of your campaigns together with the same ads everywhere, Facebook now is able to show the right ad to the right person at the right part in the funnel. And then now the quality of the ad that you're showing somebody is much higher, which means your advertiser score goes up, which means you get a better bid, lower cost for you. When you consolidate all of your campaigns and don't divide up that customer journey into 20 different places, you're able to spend more money in the places that you're spending money, which means you get more data faster, which means the performance is more stable, which means you can scale. And it means that you're putting all of your learnings into a single places, which means you know which ads are good and which ads are bad, which means that you're only running good ads, which means your advertiser score and your action rate go up, which means your costs come down and you make more money. And because you're not providing giant discounts the first time somebody says no, you don't look fucking desperate. Imagine if you got a crush on someone and you ask them out, and the first time they say no, because maybe they're busy or whatever the fuck else, you say, hey, look, let me completely devalue myself and show you how fucking desperate I am. Will you please fuck me? The answer is going to be no. Not only no, they're never going to come back. So, again, all of this is trying to drive a high quality customer experience by showing high quality ads in very large audiences with as much spend against them as possible. And by very large, what I'm saying is an ad to cart one day might only be 50 people a day for you. But if you divide it up in 5 ways, it's really 5, 10-person audiences that are all bidding against each other, driving your cost up. You are making your own cost bigger because you and 4 other versions of you are in the room trying to convert that person. And that's terrible fucking business. Would you ever go to an auction and bid against yourself? But you do it every fucking day on Facebook. Now I lost count, but we'll say that was number 4. And I'm going to go to point 5 to help the dropshippers people out. Is that, and this is tough, but I see a lot of times people ad accounts getting turned down or getting turned off, or people getting their ads shut down. And people say, well, Facebook's just out to fuck me. Why is this happening? What's going on? And remember, if Facebook is a business with legal obligations and their goal is to continue business as usual. So the number one way to avoid your Facebook access getting interfered with is by making sure that the product pages that you're driving your ads to are Facebook compliant, and making sure that customers have a good experience from your store. And I've said this to a couple people sometimes, and especially in like groups, in guru groups, some like really big ones, and I will get railed because somebody says, oh, all my customers, this, that, and the other thing, like, what's wrong? And my response to them is, well, how's your customer service? And they say, well, I don't have a customer service. And it's like, okay, so you treat your customers like shit, and you're upset that Facebook says you have a bad customer reaction score and they're shutting down all of your ads. You have to take care of them. Go into the comments section of your ads. Reply back to people that leave a bad comment and delete them. Delete the comments. If people are constantly just talking shit on your ads, block them from seeing them. Just hit block user. That simple. If somebody is complaining to your store, respond back quickly and positively. If you want to run a business, you have to remember that the customer is doing you a favor by giving a fuck who you are. Long shipping times, shit packing, shit product quality, all of those things hurt. I see a lot of people that run dropshipping stores that have really low quality products that take 3 weeks to get to somebody. And honestly, the stores were out of business before I got my product. How many times have you bought something and it never even showed up? That's happened to me a few times. So maybe I'm just a little scorned. But anyway, my point is that if you run a good business that takes care of your customers, you will be treated better by Facebook. And this goes into people when they see your ad, if they write negative shit about you, or what's called an X out, where they see your ad and they go to say, never show me this ad again, fuck these people. Facebook takes that into consideration because Facebook wants Facebook to be a place where people enjoy going on Facebook. That should be simple, right? And remember, when you show up in somebody's feed, they don't give a fuck who you are. You are a burden on them. You are something in the way of what they want. Because they did not go on Facebook with their credit card in their hand to buy whatever the fuck it is you're trying to sell them. So you have to think of it holistically as Facebook is, when used best, is a way to take your high quality store where you value customers and have taken a lot of time and consideration into making the highest quality ads that speak very well to somebody, to scale the efforts of things that are winning so that you can take your small store and make it really big. Facebook is not the place for you to treat your customers like shit, run 1,000 different ads in 1,000,000 different places, and try to start a business from scratch. You will fail 99% of the time doing that. And the people that don't fail there are the people that are on a trend before the trend hits. It's funny, some of the gurus that I see, like Nick Shackelford, for instance, was one of the first guys with a fidget spinner. Why was he so fucking successful? Because he had a better thing in China before everything hit. He was fucking lucky. He was smart, and he did a lot of good work afterwards, but he got lucky. And he failed a bunch of times before that and a bunch of times since, but he got lucky there. And we've seen this with a lot of different products between, boots and shoes and clothing and jewelry and electronics and whatever you're selling. There's 1,000 other people trying to sell the exact same shit, probably using the same ad if you didn't make it yourself, targeting the same fucking people, driving the cost of business up, and running it all inefficiently. So Facebook also knows that if you're selling a piece of shit product that 1,000 other people are trying to sell and nobody wants to buy it, they're not going to show your ad to somebody because they know that your ad leads to something that's going to make somebody unhappy. So why the fuck are they going to want to go on Facebook? So what I'm trying to ultimately close here with, because we're going to end early. Usually these are like an hour and a half. Today is going to come in under an hour. And honestly, it's only because I was up late last night playing a rock and roll show. I got another rock and roll show that I got to be at in an hour. And I just got out of a movie. And I haven't even had breakfast yet. And it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I don't want to disperse from the point. I want to handle this shit. Ultimately, what I'm trying to say is Facebook is a way to take your good business and make it great. Facebook is best served when you give it the least amount of options so that you can spend the most money in the fewest places on the highest quality ads that you have. And Facebook is not a place that's magically going to make somebody buy the first time they see anything from you. Facebook is a great place to let somebody make the purchasing decision. And if they tell you no, then Facebook's a wonderful place to make sure you never waste $1 on them again. Facebook's one of the best at that. How many times do you see a television ad for something you don't want? You've seen the same ad 1,000 times. That person that's buying that TV ad has wasted their money every time they show it to you. So think about Facebook as a tool in your ecosystem to run your e-com. It is not the solution. It is a piece of the puzzle. It's the middle piece, honestly. Good stores don't need Facebook to ramp up. Bad stores will lose every time they go to Facebook right away. Now, I know that means, well, what am I supposed to do with the thing? So use Facebook for retargeting. Use Google branded search for retargeting. Use things like Tapjoy and Instagram growth hacking and 1,000 other things we've talked about to drive traffic as efficiently as possible. I can't tell you how to go find the next fidget spinner. If I knew that, I wouldn't be sitting here. I probably would still be sitting here telling you. But I'd be too busy running that fucking business. My best advice to you on how to build your brand to get to the point where Facebook is something where you should give a fuck about a lookalike audience is take a look at the Ecom Brand Builder ebook. And if you want it for free, do this week's homework and I'll just fucking send it to you. And it's not some tripwire thing to make you buy some other shit. That's it. There's no links to buy anything. I'm not selling anything. I'm just trying to help you out. Because helping you helps me. Because I learned so much from you people. And I take that and then I teach Facebook. I mean, I'm going to fucking toot my own horn because I haven't done it the whole time, but I'm in an elite group internally at Facebook of the top 130 or so advertisers. Of those top 130 or so advertisers, I don't know somebody better than me. Maybe they're there, they're probably just fucking quiet, or they don't go to the same meetings that I go to. But I'm an industry leader in a small group of people who are disrupting and setting the best practices. I need all of your great ideas to solve the problem differently than other people. What you give me is out of the box thinking and crazy fucking questions that make me think like, why didn't I think of that? I mean, so many things that I use now are stuff that I learned from you all. And simple shit that nowadays just seems like normal stuff. But I mean, using Fiverr to make videos wasn't something that anybody at Facebook was talking about. Or, using engaged shoppers. That came from, talking to you guys, right? I mean, even Bucket-Based CBO was me ripping off Tim Bird, who was ripping me off, and doing it, taking the lessons that I learned from talking to a bunch of you guys and putting all those pieces together in a scalable and stable and wildly improved best practice that's now being spent by Facebook so that we can all understand the best way of doing something, and we're kicking ass. So thank you so much for that. And if this is meaningful to you, please invite a friend. And if you want more access to stuff or just to say thank you, you can join the Patreon. It's like $20 a month. And it means the world to me. And it helps me. It does. Not all this shit is free. And every little bit counts. And if it's just $20 to say thank you, I appreciate it. And if you want to take all of it for free, run a million stuff, that's fine, do it. You can sign up today, steal everything off of there, and then cancel. I don't give a shit. I probably shouldn't say that stuff, but I don't care. There's no long-term fun. And if you want more access, we do have one-on-one phone calls, and there is a Slack room. And I know that there's a good chunk of people in the group that are in the Slack room that haven't left, and they've been in there for fucking months. And that tells me that there's value there. So do the homework, get 50% off the Patreon or the Slack or one-on-one phone call or whatever. You only really get to use it once. So I really recommend you use it for ebooks or using it on the phone calls. That's the people that I've seen. That's the most value they can get for their buck. Anyway, I want to answer these questions from y'all, and then we'll get the fuck out of here. And Tomas, I know we wanted to do a one-on-one today, but I really ran out of time, so maybe we can do tomorrow morning. Because you are in Europe, so you're 9 months ahead. So maybe we'll do like a 7 a.m. Los Angeles time, and we'll get these fucking questions answered. Hopefully this live answered a lot of your questions, so that when you come back with the homework from the last meeting, we can fucking crush it. That's what I'm trying to do. All right, and tomorrow's actually has some great questions. So let's just get right the fuck to it. Number one, it says, almost never, I cannot judge based on myself. Oh, yeah. I was talking about the don't buy on the first click thing. Tomas also says, but how do I know for how long I should run the same ad? And what about using different ads? Is there anything like ad fatigue? Is there anything like when my ad gets over 2 or 3 million views, it gets exhausted? Tomas, great question. The answer to that is, I'll try to answer it in reverse. There's no such thing as ad fatigue in the sense that some ads stop working and you can put them on a shelf and bring them back out later. When you're running ads in retargeting, however, that person's only going to ever see your ad maybe for a week. And then they'll never see it again. So ad fatigue doesn't really work in the same way. And the more volume you get to that ad, the more learnings it has and the better it will perform. Then you asked, what about using different ads? I highly recommend using a batch of 3 to 5 ads in every ad set. And those should be the best performing ads that you have for it. And you can test with your dollars, or you can test against testing audiences, stuff that we've talked about ad nauseum before. And on our one-on-one, we'll build out the whole fucking testing model if you want to. I'm fine with that. Honestly, you can use the thing that works on Tapjoy on Facebook and make a still version of it, make a video version of it, make an organic post version of it, and try with 1 or 2 pieces of copy. And then you've got one asset that's basically like 12 or 15 ads. You run a couple of them. When one just doesn't work, kill it, run the next one. And just always be churning through to the point where that ad set is doing what you need from it. Say your goal is running your store to 1.5 and that ad set is doing a 2.8. The only problem you have there isn't your creative, it's that you can't spend more money there. Great. We're going to expand the look back window in a new audience or move further away from that recency of intent and spend there with the ads that are working the fucking best. Yeah, and then I think before that is how long should you run the same ad? I would say there is no limit. Some of the ads that I've run where I've spent $100 or $1,000 a day, I've been running for 2 years. So if anybody tells you different, I've got millions of dollars that say they're wrong in ad spend, in profit, from DR shit that I've run 1,000 different ways, and that I'd probably have a dozen or 2 dozen ads that I know I can spend $500 a day on a double the money because of where they are in the funnel. And the honest truth is, when you run them that long, they might have 1,000, 5,000 comments, 20 million views because you've been running it forever. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it ain't working, move on to the next one. Don't be emotionally attached to your creative. Sometimes the best ones are the fucking worst. It makes no fucking sense, but that's just the way it works. Tomas says, oh man, I'm getting a. Sorry, it's a thing for the band. Apparently, nobody could hear my loud ass fucking guitar last night. Oh well, I guess I need to turn up. Let's see. Someone says, I'll write down questions, forget it later, but what about email pop up? So people say it's what, because 90% of the people won't buy it the first time, and this way you get at least to get their email. I love the email pop up. I think that you put it on delay. If somebody's on your page for 15 seconds or more, 10 seconds or more, and they're scrolling up and down, they're doing some research, but they're not buying, you can assume they're not going to purchase then. Give them an email thing and say, hey, look, save 10%, join our email group, here's a coupon, come back later and buy. Then the ad that you're running them with is still the same ad because the email's got the code for it. And then the discount is being served because you have them in your email chain and you're able to convert them for fucking free later. And your Facebook ad doesn't suffer because you don't have a 10% off ad, a 20% off ad, a 25% off ad, a free shipping ad. It's all one fucking ad. And there's like a promo code that they've gotten for all of those benefits. And the only reason they're going to use those promo codes is because they're going to fucking buy from you. And if you get them in an email, then it doesn't cost you the $5, $10, or $20 to get the no. The email got the yes already. So big fan of them. Wicked Clothes has one of the cleanest and best versions. wickedclothes.com. Big fan of them. Friends of mine. Check it out. And Senator Reeves says, you mean on the ad level? I'm not exactly sure what that was referring to. But as far as the ad level, the learnings all happen at the ad level. Campaigns can get smarter because of the collective learnings of all the ads in that campaign. Ad sets get smarter because of the collective learnings of all the ads in that ad set. Now, ad sets and campaigns can eventually get smarter because of that net result. And so you see a lot of people say, well, I know this ad set is better than this ad set. And my argument to them is, are you running the exact same ads in both ad sets, targeting the exact same audience at the same time with the same budget? And what they say is, well, no, this one's working better, so I'm spending more money there. What I would say is, so you're getting more data to one than the other, and that one's doing better. So something to think about. In short, what I really want to accomplish now is to undermine a lot of the bullshit going for dropshippers. So what we can say in clear review, I'm going to try to do it in 90 seconds or less. Number one, Facebook isn't the place to be starting a brand new brand from zero. There's better options. Check out the Ecom Brand Builder ebook to learn them. Number two, don't try to test new products until you've maxed out the products that you already have if you have products that are winning. Number three, make your retargeting as simple as fucking possible. Anytime you launch a new audience, make sure that it is fundamentally accomplishing something that none of your other audiences give you, and you're doing it because your other audiences that are better have maxed out. Number four, use the same ads everywhere you possibly can so you're spending as much money in as few places as possible. That's not just the campaign level, the ad set level, but it's also on the ad. If the same ad is used in add to cart one day as in site traffic from the last 14, that site traffic from the last 14 is going to do better because it's learning who converts based on the add to cart one day, and your advertiser score goes up. And five, make your page as simple as fucking possible so that when somebody gets there, they want to buy. It doesn't have to be your entire website, but the page when somebody clicks on your ad that they land on. Make it hard to not want to buy. Make it simple as fuck. With that, I'm going to go. I apparently have a couple band-related emergencies that I need to attend to. Love you guys. Thank you so fucking much. I really appreciate it. Tomas, you and I on a one-on-one. Let's get it done. My apologies about today. And I'm just really fucking busy, so let's do tomorrow AM. If that's cool with you, message me. And there's a few amount of you that are already taking advantage of last week's homework that I have not gotten back to yet. They've hit me up in the last 24 hours, so I'm going to do that. Until next time, invite your friends. Spend the fuck up. Let me know how else I can help. All right? Bye.